Welcome to Hi-Fi and Stage Dives, a SoCan licensed podcast coming to you weekly from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Each week, I talk about a song that's been stuck in your head at one point or another, or stuff you've never heard before. Welcome to this musical journey. What's up? So, welcome back to Hi-Fi and Stage Dives. I'm on vacation, motherfuckers. I got 4 weeks of no fucking work. You don't understand how excited I am about this. This is gonna be fucking great. I've been sleeping every fucking day, and the weather hasn't been that bad. I even went and fucking repainted my whole fucking truck. Well, my Tahoe, not a truck, my big SUV. Repainted that. It's all blacked out and shit now. So, it's been good so far. It's my beautiful wife's birthday. I'm gonna say happy birthday, Tara. Tara Court, love you. Yeah. She puts up with my shit, and she lets me do this all the time. So she's going to get tattooed right now. She also has the rest of the week off with me, which is pretty rad. So we'll be getting into some shenanigans, I'm sure. She's getting her right leg shin tattooed. I don't know. She's full of tattoos just like me. She has way more tattoos than I do by far now. It's just nuts. Anyways, happy birthday to you, Tara. Love you. Hope it's fucking amazing. If you don't know who we're listening to right now, this is motherfucking Frank Lopez Hobo Johnson. I am going to fucking rip through this because his songs are shorter and there isn't very much on him because he's very, 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 very new. So he just went viral. You recognize the name. So the feature song will be Father. The reason why I picked that song is because the things he says and everything Hobo Johnson says, period, or Frank Lopez, they come from within inside. So I relate to a lot of shit he says. A lot of people think he's like Post Malone, and he's a shitty rapper. He's not really a rapper. Alternative hip hop is one of the things I heard. Also, spoken word. Like he rhymes. I don't know, poems maybe with a beat. So I like him, man. He says some weird fucked up shit, but you can tell it's coming from the heart. Hobo Johnson is his stage name, and he's an American rapper. He's not a rapper, like I just said. Frank Lopez is his real name. He is the vocalist and frontman of Hobo Johnson and the Lovemakers, his backing band. He is half this. I'm sorry if anybody that's Portuguese is listening right now. I don't know how to say this properly. I tried to make Siri say it, and it said it really fucking Azeronian Portuguese. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Sorry. A quarter Mexican and Native American. So they kind of went viral because they did a Tiny Desk contest, it was called, on Facebook for the song Peach Scones, which he went viral for. I was listening to before that, which is pretty fucking rad because I found this weird fucking shit that I'm like, what is this? This is fucking amazing. So I started listening to him. He was on Spotify, and he blew up shortly after that on Peach Scones, which is fucking amazing. Like, and I love the fact that happened for him, and I really do hope that he makes it huge. He collected millions of views in just a few weeks, following the attention of Peach Scones. The video and their album, The Rise of Hobo Johnson, charted at number 11 on the Billboard Heart Seekers. So there you go. Go viral. Goes fucking amazing. He's from Loomis, California. His only occupation is a performer. He's been going since 2015. He's all independent and independently produced. He makes all the music, him and his crew, which consists of him himself, Frank Lopez, Derek Lynch, Jordan Moore, David Beza Lopez, and Ben Lurch. Band's pretty great. They do some different stuff. Technically, they do some pretty cool stuff, too, because of some weird offbeats and some weird, like, making the beats and playing it live. And the guitar player can play some really nice little shred riffs, like very melodic riffs. It's pretty cool. So Rise of Hobo Johnson is his first album, and then he had some singles, Peach Scone and Alone Forever. So when Lopez was a teenager, he was kicked out of his house and forced to live in his car. His homelessness was where it all started, writing music and recording the first album, which currently is unreleased, unfortunately. Hopefully it comes out, which would be fucking awesome to see that rawness, or a produced version of it would be fucking totally rad. He came up with the stage name Homeless Johnson, but soon made it into Hobo Johnson while living in his car. I'll get into that later. Lopez writes music that he considers poetic rap, which makes sense because he's not like really rapping. He's not spitting bars or anything, but he's more like poet. That makes sense. His lyrics are based on the past experiences and thoughts of love, parental relationships, fear of loneliness, future relationships, and many other topics that course through his mind. His lyrics are scattered yet deep and riddled with anxiety, emotion, and comedic awkwardness. That was all on point. If you see, like, I watched a lot of his videos, you can see, like, once in a while there's a little bit of pain in his eyes, and it comes out in the video, and you can see him let it go. So he went to John F. Kennedy High School, didn't have very many friends, a self-proclaimed lack of social skills. It happens. He turned to video games to pass the time, which he found was very unuseful in life. So he fucking realized all this and sold all his gaming consoles to purchase music equipment. And in his mid-teens is where he decided to make music. But the music of Hobo Johnson today was not an overnight process for him. It always starts somewhere and has to go somewhere. So it's how to music process. A lot of it is just like it just comes to you. It's like they explain it as coming from out of the middle of nowhere. Really, it's coming from within inside. It's imagination, I guess you call it, but it comes from within inside. It is that plucking it from the air and having that little bit of magic that does come with it, or a lot of magic, to be frank. Frank Lopez, jeez. It doesn't just come out of nowhere, but it does. It's a hard thing to explain. It can start with the pluck of one string or strum of a chord, or just fucking freaking out or dropping something, and it just triggers. It's a trigger, and it's a really crazy trigger. So he described his junior years in high school when he moved back to Loomis as a troubled year, and he gets into it a little bit. He got into a group of friends where they would drink a lot, and it was just with the wrong crowd, but they drank all the time, way too much. And then he is quoted as saying they would go back to school drunk or whatever. It was pretty bad, and then they kept going and getting worse and worse and worse. So he fell into that hole of broken families of bullshit, and that's how you deal. That's how some people deal, unfortunately. The whole time he was on SoundCloud making music and receiving like little or no attention without much positive feedback, because it's totally different, which makes sense. He says it in some of his songs, he's like, sometimes I go to jail. He got several DUIs, and he spent time in juvie hall, and that's where he met a representative from Auburn Hip Hop Congress, and he talked to people several times in juvie. He says finding and meeting and all this was inspiration enough to pursue a full-time career in music. That is a crazy thing to realize, and a crazy thing to end up doing. And when you realize that that's what you're going to do, that's your pivotal point, and you're going to do music, that's a big thing to accept and do. And he's quoted, "No, I'm not going to get a job. I'm not going to try to go to school. I just want to be a musician." He left juvie and has returned to his father's house after he found there was no stability. He learned all that stability and the day-to-days and everything like that in juvie. They taught him some normality, I guess, and there was nothing at home. So Lopez started going to open mics, performing all day in the streets, and he struck a chord with people because of what he says. You can't deny what he's saying doesn't hit home for some people, or a lot of people. And if it does hit home and you're just like, meh, and it hits you wrong, it's because maybe you need to take a look inside. Because I know I did. It brought up a lot of stuff. So while he was studying in Sacramento City College, he making all this music, and he's studying music, and he's trying to get into this music thing. Dear Labels, a song about starving for career success, became popular. And he's quoted saying, "I could feel that these were good. I could feel that like people are going to like these. Finally, after 4 years of no one ever liking it, I was like, yo, I think this is my time. I could feel it in my soul. I was ready. So I dropped out of college and I quit my day job." That day, boom, just like that. And when you know, you fucking know, and that's all there is about it, man. And that's 100% true. You can't deny your gut. When your gut knows and you pay attention to it and it fucking knows, it knows. So he had a day-to-day at a pizza shop or some shit like that. So he just like fucking stopped working there and dropped out of college, and that's just what he does. His biggest fear right now is going back to a time when his music was not appreciated as it is today. It's sad when you release a song and no one likes it. I'm afraid of it going back to that. I think that's what keeps him going, is the fear. That's what keeps me going, is the fear. There's nothing like fear to stoke a fire under your ass, that's for fucking sure. His life lessons, he talks about, everything he talks about. He's like, a girl he loved moved away to a different part of the world, Lopez says, and he's saying life gives you more experience, more thoughts, and that will always help with music. That is the goddamn truth. I'm telling you, some of the best music that I ever written in my life has come from personal experience of fucking pain. That's all there is to that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the feature song. It's called Father. I will get into how he got his name and some other stuff and all that good stuff. And I hope you really enjoy Hobo Johnson as much as I do. I got a quote from someone. I'm not going to name his name and all that crap. It's just something I said. Anyways, I'll get into that after. So here it is. This is Father, and you're listening to Hobo Johnson and the Lovemakers. Enjoy.
Hi, what's up? My name's Frank, Hobo Johnson. I hope you like this song. I made it for my dad. It's for you, Dad. Hey! My dad taught me about the story about the birds and the bees. When the bees turned into wasps and take half of everything, he sounded sure that a bird doesn't need a full nest, but a bed for our bird heads to rest. He told me, son, you'll never dunk. What? Is family tradition. Basketball is not for us. Our legs just aren't that springy. My great-great-uncle almost did, but he didn't. He told me, son, beware of the monsters that roam the depths of your head. Sometimes they'll make you real sad, or real mad, or real jealous, and that's real bad. Boy, breathe nicotine until you fall asleep, like all of our family. Breathe nicotine until you fall asleep, like all of our family, like all of our family. My father's married to a shape-shifting monster who could sometimes take the form of a really nice woman. And although that seems super fucking frightening, sometimes this scary monster makes a really great vanilla pudding. He has courage, but sometimes your courage isn't quite the kryptonite as the monster runs rampant through the house. Sometimes your courage makes you feel strong, but it seems as if the monster eats your muscles all along, fucking picking out your self-respect right at his scary teeth. Her breath smells like pride itself and other men she used to meet, and the monster doesn't sleep, it just schemes and fiends on the next tasty meal. It gets seed, it gets seed, it gets tea. What the fuck? Hey yo, dead ass. My mom's pretty.
So that was Father. Like I said, it hits home for me because of the stuff that he says. Let's get into this and wrap her up pretty much. I'm probably going to talk a lot like I normally do. You know how it goes with me. Hobo Johnson. This name. I got a quote on how he got this name and the process in which he got his name. So the name Hobo Johnson came off a whim, according to Frank Lopez. Out of a bag in my brain, it was in my 94 Corolla where I lived when I got kicked out. And he recorded his first album as Hobo. It's not available yet, unfortunately. Like I said, hopefully it is available. That'd be fucking amazing because it's probably great. But it might be one of those things where it's way too deep just to release like that. It might be one of those things where you keep for yourself until the time is right, or maybe until never. You never know, you know what I mean? Because it's so deep and it means so much because you're in such a situation at that point in time in your life that it's the only way to get it out the proper way. And that happens in music a lot, because this is what he quote is saying. Bear with me here. It's a mind fuck. He's like, okay, he's running through names. He's like, Hobo. Hobo Jones? No. Someone else is Hobo Jones. Hobo Johnson. And he's like, Hobo Johnson. Lopez says, and I thought about it, and I was like, yep, that's the one. It was pretty instant. I think I didn't second guess it. So when you know, you fucking know. Trust your gut. That's all it is. You got to trust your fucking gut. He did a bunch of these. If you have never seen him before, I highly suggest you go to YouTube, check out his video, check out his interviews, because he's you can tell he's a really nice dude. He's a down-to-earth, real rad dude that really, he does care. You can tell he's come from some hardships in his life for sure, and he's working through some stuff, but you can see it in his eyes when he does these videos. Like he goes to these parts in his brain that are super dark, or he goes into these parts of his brain that he's just like, what the fuck am I doing here again? And then it comes out, right? It's like the song Peach Scones. he wrote it, but it was about love. So it's how it is. There's also these videos that I was talking about. Sorry. So these videos, he does this one thing on location. He does these on location videos at Kappa Radio Garden recordings, they're called. You can see the progression tonight, and it ends with Sex in the City. Like, it starts in the beginning of the day or middle of the day, and he records these songs, and by the end, when it's Sex in the City, it's dark. It's great. And I love that he gets like the yelling part in songs too. I think it's totally fucking rad. I think that's what caught me on the first video. Fuck, I couldn't find which video it was because I just, as soon as the first time I saw it, I was like, fuck, this is amazing. And I went and checked everything out, so I couldn't tell you, but like, Peach Scone's fucking crazy for that shit too. But go check out his videos. Go check out his interviews. You can tell he's a real nice dude. You can tell that he's obviously been through some shit and he's not scared to talk about it. And you can see the appreciation when he does a live show and people know his lyrics. And you can see the appreciation when someone says something flattering, because it's kind of like he doesn't believe it, or he just... Getting a compliment when you're always being put down is really hard to receive too. Or you receive a compliment when everything's fucking shitty. It's just like, what the hell, right? So, but you can totally see that in his face, and it's fucking great. You can see it in his eyes. Everything that he does and everything he says it's probably the same broken family shit. The shit I can feel. I called him a genius one time, and on one of my posts, and I was like, yo, it's like, if you haven't checked out Hobo Johnson, go check him out. Dude's a fucking genius. And then someone sent back, he's like, everybody's got an opinion. Absolutely fair. But this guy was just like, not sure if genius is the right word. I definitely dig his style, though. Super awkward rapper guy. Ha ha ha. I mean, I guess, but that person, the type of music that person listens to compared to myself is totally different. It would be like my homie Alec from the Awesome Hour and I. We split. You can split us, legitimately split us down. You can see the clear divide of us in music, and I believe this guy's in the same position as myself and Alec. We most likely would have very, very different opinions on music. I believe himself as a musician also. So I don't know, maybe he has a handle on music the way I do. I don't know. I'm very open to music. It's not that I don't like certain types of music, or genres of music. It's just, like I said, there's just certain things I just don't like about them. I can't say I deny a whole genre. That would be fucking straight lying. I used to say, I don't like country and I don't like folk. I guess if a band is stuck in that folk or country and I like that song, well, then I guess I like that genre too. And this is just an epiphany that I'm having right now with you guys, and I thank you for it. So, but Hobo Johnson, if you hear this, keep fucking going, man. Thank you for making this amazing music and spitting your weird poetry and your quote unquote awkward rapper guy stuff. I love the music, the way it's made, the way everything flows. It's right, and he said it right, and I think he hit it on the fucking head when he said he could feel it. I think it's just a matter of time before you realize that it's there and that it's right. I think that's what it is. I don't know, because I had those aha moments too, and I was just like, holy shit, yes, this is right. This is how it goes. This is how it's supposed to be. And this is how it's gonna be. So Hobo Johnson, if you ever hear this, keep fucking going. Make sure when you do your West Coast tour, you fucking come to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, motherfucker, because I need to see some Hobo Johnson in real life, and I hope you do a fucking cool venue too. Thanks again. This has been another episode of Hi-Fi and Stage Dives. It was actually a short one this time because, I don't know, I ran through the beginning. I honestly thought I was going to run out of time because some of his songs are really short, but it is what it is. So again, this has been Hi-Fi and Stage Dives. Thank you again for listening. Happy birthday, Tara. I love you. And remember what I always say. Keep listening to music because it makes life that much better. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you again for listening to Hi-Fi and Stage Dives. It means the world to me. I'm glad you could come on this journey with me, and we'll keep doing it every week. Subscribe, rate and review, all that good stuff, and keep listening to music because it only makes life better. And we'll see you on the flip side. Stay rad.